Thanks for watching those ads. Getting some updates about what could be ready. DnS is waiting for Cass right now. And Braddock is 1-1 with Indy, which is one of the first matches we were looking to get into of the day. Is that all far up there? Maybe we should get to that one. Hold on, are they out of game? Oh, I think Braddock Indy is actually just happening right now. Well, the winner of that will face Hearthstone, which is why I was like, if you get into that, and then the next one, that would be smooth. But I don't think that's actually waiting for us. So, probably going to go with Cass versus DnS. Whatever.
Wait, who are we going with?
Cass versus DnS.
Okay.
Okay. Was there another plan?
No, I'm
okay.
just saying okay. I'm sorry. I hurt myself last game and I'm kind of out of it right now.
So I looked through all the Gamescom stuff, so if you guys didn't, I guess you just Google Gamescom Blizzard, I think. The point is, yeah, they're just show matches. Show matches and streams from like Rotterdam and stuff. Not much of StarCraft 2, a lot more for Overwatch and Heroes. Heroes has their regional thingamajigger going on. I guess DnS and Cass have to do their vetoes, so it'll be a couple more minutes. I was gonna talk about something else, but I forget. Nope, can't remember. Just Gamescom coming up. Poor Rifkin now has hurt himself, so
Yeah.
I feel like he's like seething in pain. Like,
I'm contributing.
yeah.
So I guess another thing happened over the weekend, which I'm hoping you saw, not StarCraft related at all, Pokemon Go related, was that really cool Team Instinct comic.
Nope, didn't see that.
I don't have a link to it, but basically it's got the red and the blue gym leader looking like they've just been badly injured and they're like holding each other trying to stay up type thing.
Okay.
And they make Team Instinct look so badass, whereas like every other comic I've ever seen, they have Spark just acting like a total dumbass, like derp derp.
Yeah, it's kind of the stereotype.
I gotta try and find this. Hang on.
Okay.
I'll link it to stream if I find it too, so you guys can see it.
Well, I wait for that. I'm trying to think of stories to tell from Montreal that are stream friendly, shall we say.
I found it. Here we go. How do I... Where's this link? Oh, it's a Tumblr post. Ugh! I didn't see this on Tumblr initially, but here you go.
Of course it is.
I love Pokemon Go, man. I don't care that it's like dying off and it's not as hype as it was when it launched and all that.
Of course. Okay.
That last panel is just so badass, dude.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comic. I thought this was like an official comic you were talking about or something.
No. But the quality is so good, it might as well be.
It's a lot of good fan artists. We're actually in the lobby. It's gonna be on King Sejong Station. And this is another round of 16 match. So not a qualifying match yet. Like Clean's the first one to a qualifying match. There's the beeps.
So, side story time. Yesterday I put a poll up on Twitter before I went to bed asking, would you rather be Abraham Lincoln or a vampire? And it looks like about 28% of the people have, 29 as I speak, have figured out that Abraham Lincoln is a vampire hunter. Because Hard Revenge was the first person I think to click. It's so funny looking at the tweet replies to this because everyone's just kind of like, Rifkin vampire meme insert, right? Hard Revenge is like, oh god, stop it, don't be the vampire guys.
Well, I
You're all making
immediately,
mistakes, you fools.
I immediately thought of vampire hunter Abraham Lincoln, but I mean, you can still choose to be a vampire or Abraham Lincoln, right?
Well, but the idea is that if you're the vampire, you're gonna get hunted, okay?
yeah, but I just
Abraham Lincoln don't got time for your bullshit. He got to save America.
first strike, man. If I liked vampires at all, which I don't, I think they're actually one of the worst. Like, is it right to say that they're a mythology? Along
I
like,
guess, because as far as we know, they're not real. They could be.
I don't know if it's the right word. It's like fiction or mythology. But anyways, I actually hate their like every single iteration of vampires. I think are dumb as shit. Anyway, this is not shade at Rifkin because I know that's exactly what everyone's gonna put in chat.
All right, well,
Goddamn.
with the interest, I got a side story about that too. But in the top left to kick it off, it is going to be the red Protoss player, DnS.
In the bottom right, as the blue Terran, he is Cass.
So I know you're not really into Rick and Morty, but there's a Rick and Morty bit that I will never not love, and I think you would too if you saw it, because there's a whole thing with a vampire, and the vampire was the school coach. Coach Ferratu was his name, right?
Okay.
So anyways, at the end of the episode, they report back that Coach Ferratu's been killed, and the head vampire's like, are you serious? With a name like that? Of course they figured out he's a vampire. Can we just stop with this witty vampire name bullshit and just call ourselves Steve or something?
I was gonna have a spooky name.
I always hated it would be something that was like Dracula backwards. Like, oh, I wonder if that guy's a vampire.
Nah, it was... Because there's so many different ways people on vampires, you know, and the basis is that they have to drink blood of some type or drink something life forcey, and I've never done anything more good. You know what? Some of them are so dumb that I'd put Twilight above them. Sparkle vampires.
Whoa!
All right, I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Anyway, there is a very cheeky Stargate going down here. I feel like this was what was happening when King Sejong was first released, like not for this season. But years ago, people were like, oh, look at these hallways. Let's just put shit in there. Let's hope they never scout it. Very old school way of doing things. Cass, unfortunately... Oh, no, he did get a scout. I thought the SCV was denied. So he got in there. He saw that the gas was leaking pretty early. He knows something should be up, and he does, in fact, go check his corner and see the Stargate. I guess we'd never seen it put down so far. I didn't know the Marines could hit it. Okay, whatever.
I mean, that is way closer than I think you would expect this to be anyways for a lot of different things.
It's unnecessarily close.
Yeah, like uncomfortably unnecessarily close. And it's almost like a double bluff going on too, because you have the main attack happening out here, which is actually something he has to deal with. He can't ignore. And yet he somehow has to deal with this in the main. So I like the idea of the bunker coming down, but the Marines are going to get shredded. There's going to be like 2 left over in the bunker afterwards. The Adept and the Mothership Corps are busy taking down that front door while this goes on, and I mean, that Stargate might produce another Oracle or even a Void Ray for all we know. In fact, a Void Ray would break that bunker so easily.
I think a second Oracle is also a decent choice. The point is, like, the bunker over here is a safe place for the Marines to retreat into, but they can't go engage, especially 2 Oracles. You know, even if this one's weak, it'd still be 2, dealing a lot of damage.
I actually don't like the second Oracle. I think it's not a terrible choice, mind you, but I think a Void Ray would be much better.
Nah, because he's expanding. The Void Ray, I don't know. It would tear a lot of things down pretty quickly, but I think the second Oracle should have been paired up with the first one, but unfortunately the first one died. And that could come back in later, or been
but
the
I mean, there's the
Revelation.
turrets then now. The bunker's there. There's just not a lot these can really do. Maybe cast Revelation, I guess, at this point. Is all
Yeah, they're going to cast Revelation, because he is expanding. He is playing a macro game behind this.
on the ground over there at 1 health? Oh, it's an SCV. Oh, the Cyclone. Oh, are you real?
Oh.
Yeah, look at the low ground above the base, like where the Stargate is and stuff. There's like a 1 HP SCV over there chilling.
Okay, I see it. Yeah.
This is why I use health bars, guys. Avila would never see that SCV.
Phil also is questionable. So, okay, the Oracle can't go back into the mineral line, but it's going to come back later and do this mineral line, maybe. It's going to cast Revelate. Unfortunately, because the Stargate was here, I mean, you're very rarely going to use a proxy Stargate beyond 2 Oracles, but...
Double expanded behind this? Are you real?
I think that's a great choice.
No, it's a great choice. It's just like, this is one of the things that makes me hate Protoss. It's not balanced by the depths. It's just like, oh, cool. You went pretty dedicated. Borderline something you could call an all-in, and then you took 2 bases behind it. Hashtag just Protoss things. They expand more than Zerg do in Legacy of the Void. And I'm not as good as Imbo or anything. It's just something that for me personally, I get so frustrated because I don't know how to shut that down. And I want to so badly.
It is very frustrating. And while originally Cass's build looked like an okay solution because he had the Wood Mine to deter any like run in from the front or in an emergency to stop the Oracles from behind, it now means that he doesn't have a lot of straight pushing force. So like 2 Cyclones, a handful of Marines that won't have stim if they do push out. That's not exactly something that should be able to tear down a base. Maybe a couple of units that are out of position.
Right.
So Cass just kind of has to say, well, I guess this is how it's going to go. You're going to get a 3rd base and have triple pro production, and I'm just going to be back at home. It doesn't mean that he's automatically behind or in like a terrible, terrible position, but it's something that is very frustrating to see. And unfortunately just loses... Well, he's not going to lose this Cyclone, is he? I'm going to shoot it. Force fields, please. There we go. That's so weird. Like, when it dropped, it got into their range. Like, what was that about?
Right? That was
Okay,
weird.
whatever.
I don't know.
So,
That's
okay.
some Vision AI stuff right there.
The Cyclones die, and that's all of Cass's map presence for quite some time because he did delay the starport. I think his original plan was to go for 1-on-1, and then he had to change his plan. He doesn't even have medevacs to fly around and deal damage, and DnS really just can run away with this game. I think Cass is going to have to hope that Stim, combat shields, large bioforces basically, can either take an engagement as DnS, is getting his production up, or drop and do some damage. But yeah, DnS he's got the scouting, the revelation, lead observers. He is getting all that production. That's the one thing he's missing right now, is a lot of production. But as the 3rd base gets saturated on 55 probes already, that production's gonna it's gonna really blow up. In a good way. This is so this is frustrating for Cass, for any Terran player, especially because everything is being revelated, like, which is might not be a word, might be, you don't know. It has revelation on it, everything, including even the barracks. You could probably see if there's OTC down, and he will. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Oh, okay. Not a lot of vision when you have something with revelation, but he could come back in later and see the 3rd CC at least. And you will see the army pushing out. We'll have at least knowledge of it. And what does DnS have? DnS is going to have Blink. He's going to have a large number of adepts, which unfortunately won't have an upgrade, and that's something that Cass has over his opponents, but can he really do anything with it? He's still down in army supply.
Well, unfortunately, whatever he gets done will be seen coming in. That's why DnS was able to intercept out here instead of being questioned in the base, wondering which direction it'll come from, thanks to that revelation. But, I mean, I guess on one hand, 3 bases is really nice for DnS because, yeah, it's a lot of money, a lot of income, but it is also a lot of openings, and it's kind of hard to cover all those openings. In fact, we oftentimes talk about how there's so few Protoss players who can actually keep up with the 2-pronged and the 3-pronged attacks. But Cass, is, as you pointed out earlier, because of his opening, because of a lot of different things, like, he just doesn't have a lot of units to do that split push with. His only option really is like minor harass to like 1 drop while he gets like a big army going elsewhere. And that's not going to be too tough. That's DnS like being able to hold the drop of the photon overcharge while he puts the rest of his army focused on Cass's main assault.
Yeah. Observer just follows his army. Yeah, if he could get drops, if he get a surprise attack, everything could be very, very different. A little bit bold to the Blink over there, just get a medevac for it, though. This attack over here, there's so many pylons that should have been put overcharged. Some other shippers out of position. But this fight should be going very well for DnS. I'm a little surprised it's not. Force field's get a little awkward for him. He just back off. Where's the mothership core? Ah, there she is. Like, that took forever to get over there. There's so many pylons, specifically to stop this from happening.
Yeah, I can overcharge the second one, he should be fine. There we go.
There we go. Cass did get that 3rd CC, as I noted. Looks like... Whoa, is he gonna take it on a forward base? Okay, I don't know if I like that much. Interesting. But at least he'll have it. That's the point, I suppose. Actually evening up that army supply and still with an upgrade lead potential. This +1 is about 75% done. Liberators can certainly add a lot, especially if DnS does not take a fight away from a ramp. That could be difficult to deal with. Cass is still making a game out of this. The Adept Shade in. There's only a single tank to help. Liberators aren't siege up quite yet. There we go. But there's the Blink in to stop that. Instantly go down, and the Adepts are all on top of that bio. +1 armor did not finish for this attack either, and Cash just gets wrecked. Oh, that's it. GG.
GG. DnS gonna take that first game. Now, in fairness to DnS, like, that proxy Stargate, it's got me with all kinds of question marks, but that was well executed. Like, I thought the second that the attack failed, he didn't really break in with the adepts. I thought the game was going to go downhill for him from there. But the double expansion, risky, greedy, paid off. Had the army, had the numbers, had everything he needed to take on that in-game fight.
Yeah. Frustrating game for any town player right there. And what's, I think, especially frustrating is that Cost didn't exactly... It's like it was a complete surprise. He was able to scout something was going on, and at the very least the pylons at the front, right? And then saw the Stargate too. And there's a very difficult perfect response to that sort of cheese. Maybe the next map will be better for him, like less likely for DnS to get those cheeky spots, do his cheeky little cheesy build, but I'm not sure what the next map is. They are hosting. Oh, I guess Alarak's coming into Heroes. Everyone's freaking out on Twitter.
As long as he stays true to it, I've disliked what they've done with a lot of the StarCraft heroes. And who's that last one? Daka or whatever really pissed me off.
Daka?
Yeah, they put Daka from the Haas campaign, the consume essence guy or whatever. Do you remember? Yeah, like the one tiny little gimped arm. He was like a primal Zerg.
I'm just gonna look it up, weird. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not nailing the description. Anyways, what pissed me off was like, in Heroes, he was implemented and he's basically cloned Skarner from League of Legends, and none of the abilities coincide with anything he did in the campaign. It really bugged me. I don't know.
Dahaka?
Yeah.
How did you say it?
Daka?
Is that how it's pronounced? I have no idea, actually. I don't remember.
I don't either. I just didn't think the H was pronounced, but...
Oh, okay. So that was a confusing. I was trying to Google it. I kind of remember this guy. I had no idea. See, this is how much I pay attention to Heroes. It's great.
Right. I feel bad, too, because I also pay zero attention to Heroes.
But yeah, Alarak, I guess, will be... cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I
wonder
really
what else they're announcing for other games. Anywho.
Oh. I like Alarak a lot in the campaign. I'm glad they're gonna put him in the thing, and I'm actually really curious, more so about his voice lines that he's gonna have actually, because I don't remember the name of the voice actor, but the guy who played Q from Star Trek or whoever did Alarak's voice has quite a good voice.
Yeah, he's a very good character. I think, you know, having that villain in there, and he, like, the entire, like, essence of him is cool. But bringing it back to those Nova campaign missions...
Chaotic good alignment.
Yeah, but the Nova missions made him look like a... I don't know, not as cool. Anyway, in the bottom left, he is... Oh, let's switch that around. He is up 1. It is the Red Protoss, DnS.
What do you think DnS stands for?
Do not stop.
Okay. In the top right, it's going to be the blue Terran player, Cass.
What do you think it stands for?
Something way worse than that, so never mind.
Wow, okay. Be that way. Dang.
So, as you had said, Cass didn't do necessarily like a lot wrong with that game, and that was kind of a problem right there, where you're kind of like, well, then what could he have done better? And frankly, that's the frustration when it comes to playing against Protoss, where their defense is so solid, not just based around the mothership core, and don't make mistakes, because this isn't balanced complaints, but their defense is really hard to break, so there's not a lot you really can do. So for Cass, like, he did the best that he could to just get an army and get a real fight going. And if you look at the games with, say, Lily Canine and some of the even Korean games that we'll cast elsewhere, my favorite way of watching Terran play is you bulk up a good army, you get that +1, you just have a lot of Marines, and you win through numbers. Whereas if you try and play it harass style, it ends up just backfiring. You bleed out too many units on the side. You never really have an army to fight with. And I'm hoping to see maybe something along that lines here with Cass in a game where he's not getting proxy right off the bat.
Alright. Yeah. I find it interesting he's going for a Marine opener instead of a Reaper opener. So he'll get his factory down, or I guess in this case it was a reactor down a lot sooner. But DnS, he was going for the Nexus after Gateway. That might have, you know, lost him a probe or two had it been a Reaper opener, but not so now, and he gets away with it. I don't know, Cass he's been performing about as steadily as you recall. He doesn't have like a breakthrough performance or anything like that, but I guess this is a pretty even matchup. And again, it's not even close to a round it's a close to a qualifying match. I think it's still the round of 16. And the winner of this would be facing, let's see here. Oh, it's actually not determined yet. Oh, I was thinking, oh, okay, no, this is more important. Well, a little bit more important. I was thinking of Indy versus Braddock, which is the other one that we're almost going to cast. That's still far behind. Looks like Indy, in fact, won against Braddock, so that kind of sucks. I know you wanted to see him. Womp womp.
Oh, feels bad, man.
Yeah, but... Oh, get it? Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
but this one does go down into the round of 8.
I actually really want to see the Muslim Mini Razor, too, if that ends up being the case.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay, yeah, that might be good. But Zarya is coming to Heroes of the Storm. Huh, I might actually play her once and then never again. Heroes, in a nutshell for me. But anyways, I'm surprised she's the second Heroes character, isn't she? There's Tracer, and did I miss one?
Well, I mean, there's like the Widowmaker skin for Nova,
Okay,
so I don't know if that counts or not.
No. I'm surprised Zarya is the second one. That's so weird.
Actually, it makes sense because her ultimate really is like a MOBA skill more than anything else. Like Dota classically has that guy who sucks everyone in.
Oh yeah, that everyone always like screams about. Yeah, I know things about Dota. Yeah, it's true. Dude, the international was on all the time at Meltdown, and it's a little disappointing. I mean, it made sense because obviously Montreal was done, StarCraft was done by the time we went to Meltdown, but I had no idea what was going on the screen. It was like it was regular sports for me. It's terrible.
I love Dota, man. We should watch Dota sometime.
But I don't like it.
Was that just because you don't know what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, of course. But it's also that I tried playing it and I tried being memorized by it, but... Mesmerized by it.
I was hoping Dota 2 would remember who I am, but it just kept calling me like Jenny instead of Jessica. It was so annoying.
Yeah, but I don't like the arts. I think it's very bland. And the one time I was hype about it was like 2 years ago at the International, because there's like that cool like almost base race. But that was it. Haven't really enjoyed watching a game since then, and I've tried. So no thank you to that. But here comes a drop.
Oh. Thank God they announced it. Twitter, StarCraft just said Alarak will be the new co-op commander.
Okay, yay! Hey! Okay, so that's what we were being cheeky about earlier. This Oracle is completely useless, by the way. I stopped watching it just figuring that it would kill 2 SCVs and leave, but now that dies. This Marine drop was the one that played a little bit smarter than the Oracle and dropped before it got to the 3rd base. Almost gets the Phoenix, too. Cass getting some luck here.
So I was watching the Alarak. It's not that thrilling of an announcement thing. But yeah, Alarak's awesome.
There's a new map, too.
Missed opportunities, but the way they spelt it makes me mad.
What is the mist trying to... What the fuck is this shit? What the hell? Motherhood just appears on a note. What is... I can't tell what's happening by the GIF. Anyways, main attack. Probably more important than the announcements. We're great. We're field reporters. Field reporting Twitter, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missiles are coming down. He's really trying to get a solid push here, a solid contain if you can't push in, and then eventually push in, of course. But Stim is not around. Combat Shield isn't around. In fact, only extra barracks coming down now. So this is something that is a lot more positional than anything else. And DnS just has to buy time. Still hasn't really reaped the rewards quite yet from the 3rd base. His production only just recently finished. You know, it's only 3 gateways right now. 4th and 5th still on the way. And the Phoenixes, while they could be helpful with the tanks, that's what the missile turret's for. We're gonna try and be for. That Nexus is under fire, though. So this does put DnS on a clock. Ideally, he has photon overcharges at the front, and he really stops this from getting so far forward.
This is where the missile turret's a little bit nice to have on that side. Picking up a couple. The Phoenix has got 2 kills right off the bat. The Marines just focusing everything down.
Oh, God.
And this attack is just too much to handle. Down to 10 army supply. if the Phoenix had been able to successfully lift up the tanks, this may have been different, but that turret got 2 kills, 2 snipes, Marines focus fired, so shoutouts to Cass on his control for this engagement, and that's... I mean, there's a third Nexus to fall back to, but there's nothing protecting it. There's nothing protecting the main. If Cass just keeps pressing the issue, doesn't give DnS any breathing room, then he's got this game.
He absolutely does. Probe's going down now.
Like, this was such a techless attack, too. Like, +1's not done. It's finishing in a second. Combat Shield Sim, not done. Like, this is just brute force.
Yep. This has certainly worked. I think a lot of it has to do with DnS not being ready for it soon enough. Again, like, no pylons on the front ramp. So having bunkers on the front ramp just basically immediately was kind of the ideal scenario for Cass. And, I mean, DnS, I'm pretty sure knows he's dead. But you got this third base mining, and you really don't want to tap out when you still have a lot of mining. You still think your supply is okay-ish. But the army supply is really where it's at. And it is not good for DnS. Cass, by the way, about to finish up his 3rd CC.
Yeah. This is great. I love this entire series. I think it's the 3rd game as well, so it won't be such a one-sided set. I mean, it's going to take a lot to throw the game at this point. The Adept's going to be transferring down here. We'll have no support from the Immortals on the high ground. I'm not sure about that choice. He does want to protect this base to some extent, but he just doesn't have the numbers to do it, I feel.
Yeah. Trying to break down the ramp, but realizes there's not much you can do. In fact, biggest problem, I would say, is there's nothing to take care of the Liberator. GG.
GG. All right, guys. Well, that's going to tie things up 1-1. We have a 3rd game to get to, but before that, we're going to go to a small commercial break. So consider watching these ads. We thank you in advance, and we'll see you in 2 minutes.
Welcome back. We're trying to get into game number 3, but I'm just going to ban this guy. This guy's been annoying. I guess the invite system isn't working for DnS.
Okay.
DnS Cass is in the game. Did he try inviting you?
Nope.
Well, I told him to invite you. If that works, then I can just join off of you.
Yo, Overwatch has that like request to join party thing. I wish there was like a request to join game if you wanted. Or I guess no, that would be abused by spammers. Never mind. I take that back. That'd be a terrible option to have in StarCraft.
I'm surprised Overwatch has it right now. It's gonna be abused later. Okay.
Okay, well, invite to me works, so just join, I guess.
Good.
So while we're waiting to get in this game, sure, I'm glad that, well, it's really uncomfortable for me to sit here all day with my broken arms and all that. Luckily, my butt feels like it's sitting on clouds, thanks to this DX Racer from Chairs for Gaming.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Are you liking right now at Shanghai?
No, but I do want to give Chairs for Gaming an extra special shout out because they were really awesome and they gave a chair to give away for that fundraiser for my medical stuff. So
yeah,
they have certainly solidified. We already really like them, and they have solidified a spot in my heart with that generosity. So
that was really cool of him. I don't think the guy's gotten his chair yet, but I told him to tweet, and he was definitely very, very, very excited. And said absolutely.
Actually, that reminds me too, because they gave us the chairs to give away at Hell It's Boot Time as well, and I think that ended up being as weird as it was. Giving the chairs away were like some of the most hype part of that event, more so than the finals, I would even argue. Yeah. Although, no, I couldn't argue that. The finals was way too hype. The crowd went nuts.
Yeah, it feels bad it's so overshadowed. But, yeah. We are into game number 3, ace match. No losers bracket here, so whoever's out is out. There's no more WCA European qualifiers either. In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is DnS.
And in the top left, just tied up the series 1-1, it's going to be the blue Terran player Cass, who, by the way, I would like to just emphasize that build that he just did on Galactic Process, absolutely viable and possible here on Frozen Temple. In fact, there are some players we expected out of straight up.
I would be a little surprised he didn't. If he likes tanks so much, if you like him so much, you to marry it. Then he should probably go for the 2-base tank push.
What? First you marry tanks, then dogs? Come on, Zambria, where does it end?
Yeah, totally, sure. Do you marry the tank or do you marry the tank driver?
You know what? That's a great question. Maybe it's a package deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it a package deal? I guess is the real question. Anyway, once again, opening with the Marine. DnS is also opening the same way. I wonder why Cass doesn't like the Reaper. Just doesn't think it's... I guess... no, Protoss still has some cheesy stuff they do on like 1.5 bases, so I would say it's always worth. But I guess if he's gonna go for a 1-base build, okay, then that makes more sense. His last game he went for the command center and just went for a faster reactor, but this makes the factory come down a little bit faster. And the probe, of course, sees this and then dies a terrible, terrible death. But point is, sees it and knows they have to prepare for something early. If it's a 1-base tank push,
Seize the day. Seize the moment.
yeah. You know it was a terrible movie?
C's are for cookie? Wait, what?
I was gonna say, you know it's a terrible movie, but if I say it, then everyone's gonna hate me.
What? Say
Wait, actually, I don't think that was the name of the movie.
Okay, let me give you some buffer, guys. Zambria doesn't like Monty Python. There you go, you're good to go. Now, everyone already hates you, so no need to be afraid.
Dead Poet Society. There we go.
Dead Poet Society. Wow. Okay, that's actually a tough one for me to like. Ooh, that was a good movie, man. Robin Williams inspired me when I was in school with that movie, man. I don't know what to tell you.
So...
Kill yourself, maybe? I think is an appropriate response.
Okay, so before this really gets underway, there's this episode of Friends where Monica meets this woman who stole her credit card, and instead of like calling her out on it, she becomes friends with her, and this woman like is like, you know, grab life by the whatever, right? The horns. What is the fucking saying?
Reigns,
thank you. God damn. Anyways,
the horns in Africa.
What? Oh yeah. I don't know where that came from. You sing all you want. But anyways, and she's talking to her and she's like, you know what movie I hated or what really influenced me? And she's like, Dead Poet Society. And Monica thought originally that it was because of, you know, good things. And actually, she just starts going off about how it was just a waste of a movie. She realized that she wasted like 2 hours of her life watching this movie where the kid killed himself because he couldn't be in a play, and that it was a waste of her time. And it's kind of... I know it's really mean of me, but I was like... that's kind of what my reaction was at the end of the movie as well. Spoiler.
Did you hate Rudy as well? What about Prefontaine, man? Like, do you just hate all iconic heroes?
Who the hell are they?
Okay, we'll talk more on this later. Oh, I've got beef now. But anyways, that push that we're talking about coming into play, it's 1 base, it's 2 bunkers. Everything here could be the end of DNS's tournament life if he can't hold this. And the problem is we've seen this actually get crushed if it's stopped early on. Kind of like what he's doing right now. The pro pull at this point in the game looks silly, but absolutely necessary. However, still not going to be enough.
Off.
He's driven back. Siege tank still firing. Bunker still building. Immortal now comes into the front lines. He's going to try and focus down that siege tank. But even with the siege tank going down, just getting the bunkers up is that solidified spot where that second siege tank, that third siege tank, they're going to come and take that spot. They're going to come and put that pressure on. So he still has to break the bunkers.
It's not a lot of damage without that cyclone getting involved, though. Like, losing the tank was not supposed to happen. That's what the medevac is for.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He should have shuffled that around. There was mistakes made. But losing the bunkers, I think, was the biggest detriment to this. Now, a lot of these stocks are dangerously low. The Immortals popped its barrier. DNS's army is not as strong as it looks, but it's still something where if he breaks this, Cass has no second base. There's no recovering off this.
Yeah. I think losing the tank and then losing the bunkers might just do it for Cass here. Medevac goes down. Liberator does survive, but so does the Immortal, barely the Cyclone. That's Mothership Corsair has a lot of photon overcharges, so like, yeah, okay, I'm surprised that DNS isn't putting down more forward pylons to back into. He knows it's on 1 base, and all he has to do is continue buying time, wait for the bigger army eventually. And now he also has a bit of positioning to work with. Oh, accidentally targets... tank should not have gotten shots off. He needs to wait for that cooldown on the Immortal. Oh no, Cass unsieges. Ooh.
That's
I want the Liberators to go down.
Liberator's going to set up. The first one goes down. The second one tries to go down, but not enough Stalkers left for it. Now Marines starting to get on top of the Immortals. Mothership Core getting really low. Just barely going to escape.
Oh, that stupid time warp. Old time warp would have saved it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so now the pylons aren't very useful.
Cyclone's got the lock on. That Immortal's going to die.
Oh god, it gets it. How many times that a Cyclone has almost gone down, and Kaz is actually able to advance forward.
He turns this around. Now the Immortal going to go
Oh,
down.
no.
This is big problems. Only Stalkers left now. Problem is, there's no medevac to leapfrog this forward. The tank's in a very just one spot scenario, but bunker getting made. Cyclone can maneuver around, and this is going to really put the pressure on. I thought Kaz was dead once that bunker setup got broken. It looked too good to be true, but DnS has really lost control of things now, and I don't know how he gets it back without the Mothership Core, without Immortals. I mean, he's just out of everything.
Oh my god, I wish the Cyclone would already die. That helps so much. I got 2 Immortals. I mean, these Immortals, they were very low health, but the point is that they get the shield back, and then you bust in again, and you pull back again. The fact that Cyclone's gotten so much done is very disturbing for how close to dead it's been, about like 4 times now. Bunker, Medevac, Liberator, every single unit that just is so good in this position is here now. And it's going to be very hard for DnS to break it. He's going to, I think, have to pull the probes again, at the very least. Saves the Cyclone once again. Jesus. He's really making up for losing that first tank, by the way. Oh, there it goes. Finally.
Okay, now there's a lot of Stalkers looking to come forward on that front line. That medevac microsection not looking too shabby. Second Liberator going to cause some problems.
Yeah, the Immortal went down too. Didn't have its barrier. I don't know. He can't reach the back line of the tanks. The Liberators and the bunker now protecting it. He doesn't have an Immortal anymore either. They wouldn't go down quickly enough. This is his last push in. Oh, no, he's not going to go for it. But I think it's doomed now. He's got to pull the probes and try right before his Nexus falls down. This is kind of it. Nexus below 200 health. It's going to go down. Like, he might as well try and save it. Okay, well. Still waiting.
I mean, I think DnS is just trying to get every single warp in possible, every little probe pulled into this, because I think he knows full well Cost is not on 2 bases back at home, but that barrier getting popped in the Immortal's a big deal. It's like a minute before that's up again. He's in a bad choke now behind his own mineral line. He's hoping Cost is silly enough to get baited into him, but that's where you just use the tanks. You never have to engage with the Marines.
Yep, nope. The Immortal's gonna come back down, as he said. Barrier's still off cooldown.
That's game though. GG. Cost advances on.
Huh. Well, tank pushes be good, yo.
Yeah.
Protoss now gone. Ludicane's still waiting in that round of 8 match. Oh, he's going up against Soul. There we go. Refresh the brackets. Night End make it to the qualifying match as well.
It's a Muslim loss to Hate Me, so Hate Me the one playing against Mini Razor as well in his qualifying round. So do they hold these each one at a time individually? How's this work going forward now?
That's what they did last time. Like, literally, even if they're all ready to go at the same time, they made them wait.
Okay, well, I need to go take some Tylenol. I'm hurting, so I will AFK BRB and see you in a minute or 2.
Alright. We're gonna go to a break anyway, so I will see you guys in 2 minutes.